everyone, and welcome back to the Proactive Happiness Management Series. I'm Chelsea Conrad, and in today's episode, we are going to spend a little bit of time talking about making the transition from buddy to boss. So this is a super exciting time, right? You've gotten a promotion, which is wonderful. Congratulations. And now you've got to figure out how to navigate the minefield of going from being a peer with people to being a supervisor. It can really be challenging. So I'm going to give you a few thoughts and tips and tricks today that you can use to help ease the transition and set yourself up for success in your new role. So the first thing I want to talk about is being confident, right? So you were given this promotion for a reason. You are the right person for the job. So congratulations on that. Now, one thing I would caution you about is to be really mindful of the distinction and the fine line that there is between being confident and being cocky, right? So you got this promotion. It's wonderful. I know you're super excited about it, but you still don't know everything, right? So when you take this new role, be really mindful of the way that you are representing yourself to your former peers. And make sure that you are being open to the ideas that they are bringing to you. So be receptive of the things that they bring. So it's really important when you think about your role on the team previously and as a peer to these individuals, right? Where you may have focused on areas A, B, and C, somebody else on the team may have focused on D, E, and F. So they may have a different perspective and a valuable input that they can bring to you in your new boss role. So make sure that you are, don't be overly cocky, be receptive of these ideas, be open to the things that they're bringing to you. So something else, when we talk about being open, I also think it's really important to make sure that you are keeping your door open, so to speak. Make yourself available to people when they need you for something. So, and it's not to say, so this is a major transitional time for you, right? You're taking on a new role, you're learning a new role, you're taking on different responsibilities, moving from an individual contributor over to a supervisory role. So there's a whole lot going on at this time for you. And it can be really easy to, push people off when they come to you because they need something. So these people who used to be your peers, their day-to-day job is not stopping because you got a promotion, right? They still have to do their job and they still need the manager, the supervisor, whatever the role is that you've taken, they still need help from that person. So you really have to make sure that you're making the time for those people. Now, that's not to say that every time somebody comes into your office, you have to drop whatever you're doing and help them right then and there. It's okay to say, hey, I'm swamped right now. Can I get back with you in an hour? Or can we do this afternoon? Or even, maybe depending on the nature of your relationship, can you just go ahead and put some time on my calendar? Okay? Those things are perfectly fine. Just make sure that you follow up and get back with those people. So something else, when we talk about the ideas that your former peers have and that they're bringing to you in your boss role now, make sure that you are giving credit where credit is due. We all have a natural tendency when we take on a new role to want to make sure that we look really good and we're being successful in the role and that, we're knocking it out of the park, right? So it can be really easy to tend to take a little bit of credit for things that really weren't your idea or that it wasn't your work, things like that. So make sure that you are giving credit where credit is due, because those individuals who used to be your peers will notice. And nothing will sink your ship faster with those individuals than taking credit for something that was their idea or something that they've worked really hard to accomplish. So make sure you give credit where credit is due. Another thing I want to talk about, and this is something I think that a lot of people naturally think about, but it can be easy to forget about in the heat of the moment, so to speak. I want to talk about reestablishing boundaries. So as a peer to these individuals, you previously would go to happy hours, you go to lunch, all of these different things. I'm not saying you need to stop doing those things. I think those things are very important to a team dynamic. They're really important to making sure those relationships are intact, that you build that rapport, things like that. But here's what I would say. The happy hour that you used to go to with the team that became happy hour that morphed into an all-nighter, you might want to redefine those boundaries. So what that looks like now in the new world perhaps is more like going to a happy hour, having a drink or two, politely excusing yourself and letting the rest of the team go on for the rest of the night without you. It's important to establish that respect and those new boundaries. It can be challenging, and sometimes you'll slip, right? Sometimes it may happen, but just be really cognizant of that because your role has changed. Something else I want to talk about, and this is relevant when we talk about making any transition, whether it's to a different role, whether it's buddy to boss, whatever the situation may be. I want to talk about being patient with yourself. So when you're making a move like going from buddy to boss, this is so complicated because one, you're taking on a new role, which is extremely challenging for anyone in any situation. Two, you're going from an individual contributor role to a managerial supervisory type of role, which again is super challenging for anyone. But then you layer on the complexity of the fact that you are going from buddy to boss. So there are a lot of factors at play here, and it is really important that you focus on being patient with yourself. Give yourself time to adjust to it. Understand that you don't know everything. Be okay, get okay with asking people for help. There's nothing wrong with asking the people who were formerly your peers for help, okay? They know that you don't know everything. They understand that. They're okay with it. Asking them for help shows that you are humble enough to be willing to accept their help, and that's really important. So be patient with yourself. Give yourself time to acclimate to the new role. Understand that you probably will make mistakes, right? Most of us make mistakes all the time. There are very few people who take a new role, knock it out of the park. Everything is perfect from the time they take the role to the time they leave the role. That just isn't very realistic, right? So know that you will make mistakes and be patient with yourself. The second part of that is I really encourage you to focus on being patient with others. Okay, this is a tough transition, and you are not the only one that's going through this transition. So those people who were previously your peers are also going through the transition. Some of them may have applied for that role and not gotten it, right? So I would really encourage you to focus on being really patient with those people. Extend leeway in places where you wouldn't normally extend leeway, and really focus on giving them a chance to process and acclimate to the new situation as well. Those are things that I think you can do to really help yourself get positioned for success, make yourself, as you're going through this crazy transitional time, those are some things that I think you can do to really make sure that you don't do any irreparable harm while you're getting settled into the new role. So again, congratulations on your promotion. It really is exciting. You are the right person for the job. Try and apply these tips and tricks, and hopefully it will help you in settling into your new role. So that's the end of this episode. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any future episodes in our management series. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much. Have a great day.